It's
All
too
right,
far
so
up the
theoretically
chart.
we're live. I'm just going to wait a second here to actually turn the cameras on so people can see the utter professionalism of our cheap animated GIF that I made in 45 seconds. And now I'll switch to the camera.
Outstanding.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
We're here. Welcome to Cask Strength. What is it, 34? Yeah, 34. I'm pretty sure.
34 and counting.
And counting. We might get to like 40. I don't know. We'll see.
We might
break that out by the end of the year.
You can, yeah.
But yeah, I'm Brad, as per usual. Joined by Hayes.
You weren't Brad all of a sudden.
Vito is nowhere in sight. I don't know. I thought maybe he would show up this time, but I was wrong.
There's going to be a hunt for Vito.
It's gonna be
somewhere, though.
He is somewhere. And we are joined, though, by Patrick from My Whiskey Dad, which is always good.
Hello. It's good to be here,
And
as
Ed
always.
from the Rotgut Review.
That's me. Glad to be here.
And I guess we're drinking a bunch of samples today that Patrick was kind enough to donate to the cause, and it took a long time for them to get here, especially because they had to be multiple places in Canada, so they got muled around for quite a while, but they eventually found all the right places. So we all have the same samples, I think, right? We all have
Yeah,
the
you
set
should.
of the samples.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It would be great if we could do these numeric order, or if that.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't know what they are, so one's a good way to start.
All right, beauty.
We can start with one, sure.
I
I'm
might
glad to
have
be
been
on the Edge show.
Might have been sitting for about 10 minutes. In a Glencairn, each one of them with a handy dandy coin on top of each.
Oh,
Actually,
this is getting fancy.
I don't even think I have my own channel anymore. I'm pretty sure I just show up on this one.
That works. It works for me. I mean, it's a lot less work for me if we have guests that can talk, so I don't have to. So it's perfect.
Yeah. So I think Daniel and Brad were talking about doing it blind, and Ed probably doesn't have the sheet anymore.
Oh, I do. I have it on my phone right here.
Oh, cheater. That's still fine.
I am.
Way too professional. I don't know. No, you're out. No, never mind. That means no. That would be too much work. Never mind.
And now I got shifted to 4th place. I see how this is. Ed's moving up the ladder.
Soon.
Wait. We could fix this.
So much better.
Damn it!
So.
We're gonna have to do like a Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah.
That would be awesome.
There we go.
And that shows the bulbs, the widow's peak going on. I need to be on the bottom.
I'm not sure that's how a front-facing camera works, but sure.
But yeah, I'll let you guys give your thoughts on kind of the first one before I jump in with any stats or who it is or anything like that.
I'm going to be super stereotypical and surprise no one by saying it's pretty good.
I'm getting. I haven't tasted it yet. On the nose, it had like a sweetness that I thought maybe was from abroad, but I mean technically America is abroad, but I think this is American.
I think they like to be called women. America's a woman.
Yeah, I'd say there's a kind of sweet corn, almost like a candied corn.
It's super sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Up
Yes.
the nose, it like really, really sweet. And now that I had a wheat taste, I'm getting some really nice old leather, like rawhide.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the soft leather. It's got, I don't know, maybe I get the leather, but I would say a little more aggressive on it than like the supple leather.
Yeah, I instantly relate leather to chewing on my baseball glove. because it's the most. It's like the time I've actually tasted leather. Like
Sure.
I've never tasted an ashtray. Well, I can tell you what I think an ashtray notes are like when I have a PD Scotch. I've never actually tasted an ashtray, but I used to chew on my baseball glove, all parts of it, pretty much for half the game, all the time. So when I get a leather note, that's what I always want to say baseball glove leather, because that's what it's reminding me of.
I get that.
That makes sense. Yeah, it does kind of taste like broken in leather to me.
I can see that.
Although on the nose, I get a lot of that really sharp vegetable corn, like that. It's not quite sweet. It's not even quite sweet. It's just that really punchy, like corn stalk corn, like straight off the ear.
And I get a little bit of rye on the nose, and obviously a little bit in the taste, like halfway through towards the end.
Definite bit of a rye note.
Sure.
If this is the one I'm thinking of, maybe it's not. I don't know. If this is number one. Did you label them the same for me as you did for them?
Is this
2 and 3? If you're looking at your list, Ed, 2 and 3 are mixed up.
I didn't look at. No. I wasn't thinking it was 2 or 3. No.
Can I? I'm gonna throw a premature guess before I even finish this and say like a high rye bourbon.
I'm gonna lean towards no. It's 17%. Oh wait, where's the rye? There's not even rye in it. There's no rye in it whatsoever.
Woo!
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I thought this was because I think this is. Well, I'll let you go. Sorry. I won't ruin it.
You can guess, but yeah, I was gonna say I got the same thing, Daniel, where I got this and I was like, well, what the hell type of rye is in here? So that's what I had to do some digging, because I was getting what I thought a fair amount of it was.
It's not overpowering, but I get like a dilly eucalyptus that I sometimes get in rye, particularly American rye.
Also, I did see that Jeremy Sims was asking America's a woman named Uncle Sam. No, Uncle Sam is the personification of the U.S. government. Columbia is the personification of the United States, and she's a lady. So
that's because we get bent over.
Australian.
We get bent over by Uncle Sam quite a bit. I get that eucalyptus flavor that you're saying. It's I always find it funny that when you're talking to a couple people and someone else brings something up, power of suggestion, you're like, did I find that or did I get it because you mentioned it?
I think it's both. I mean, I found a lot before I started spending a lot of time in person with people that are great at tasting notes and explaining them. It is simply just making that connection, because I know there's a lot in the power of suggestion, like you said, but I think it's just some people have a harder time describing what they're tasting. And a lot of my tasting notes are stuff I've tasted in the past, or like childhood things that it reminds me of. I'm not saying like, oh, tarragon with herb truffle oil. And while I have had that and I know what it tastes like, it's not necessarily something I can describe quite easily when I'm tasting some drams. But when you're in a room with like Adam, a friend of ours, I'm sure you guys all know Adam.
Oh yeah.
He says stuff and it's like, oh wow, yeah, that. But there's a lot of times when somebody will suggest something and I get absolutely none of it. So there's a control, I think, in there that isn't just always the power of suggestion wins through.
And with this, like on the finish, I was gonna say like almost towards the end of the middle, and as the finish comes up, I almost get a little bit of like alcohol bite, and it kind of fades away. But I was gonna say I still get a little bit of like peak in there for just like a second. But yeah, the no rye thing is what threw me off about this. And Mitch explained that to me. Well, wait, I'll get into that in a second. What did you think it was, Ed?
It's Panther, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's called Douglas and Todd. So give me a second here. Sorry, I was doing it in reverse. It is a collaboration where Phillips Distilling, basically they're a distributor They're like the oldest distributor in Minnesota. They partnered with the oldest craft distiller, Panther Distilling, and Panther really made this, and Phillips is distributing it. It's 46.5% alcohol by volume. It is 83% short summer corn and 17% red winter wheat, and it's a minimum of 4 years in a barrel. So, and what Mitch was explaining, how they got a little bit of that kind of rye spice, is because they actually use Minnesota oak, and that the cells inside cooler climates up north actually are tighter together, and you will get different flavor profiles from that rather than using like red oak or other oak from the south. So it's always good to talk to Mitch about some things. He's got some extra details that you don't always hear. I can't always share all of them, but
if you've seen today's Whiskey Vault episode, thanks, Mitch.
This is some of the best bourbon I've never heard of.
Well, I'm sure they're well, and
it was tasty.
The only other thing was they get it from an aquifer under the water from an aquifer under their distillery, and it is a constant 38 degrees. So just a little bit, I don't know, extra little punch for it. But I haven't had anything else from Panther.
See, I've had their 2-year-old bourbon, and the Panther 2-year-old tastes a lot like this. Like, it's very corn forward. I don't actually find it all that particularly sweet compared to a lot of bourbons.
Mm-hmm.
But that one tastes young. I feel like this one still tastes a little young to me, but that one also kicks a lot harder just alcohol wise. So I think this one's a little bit nicer.
Yeah,
it's at a higher proof than their 2-year-old, and their 2-year-old still burns heavier.
Yeah, I was gonna say I still get a little bit of that alcohol burn in it, but like I said, that just threw me for a loop because I was like, I'm sure it's like 20-25% rye something. And that's when I was asking Mitch, I'm like, well, does red winter wheat make a difference, or short summer corn, or these like weird grains that I've never heard of that have cool flavors? So, and they were just open about it. So,
short summer corn, it's like the Joe Pesci of corn.
It only gets 3.5 feet high.
There's a release we have up here, one of our yearly Canadian awesome releases of stuff that you guys don't get to see or try.
You're not even going to send it to us.
We can't. It's like it's less illegal and easier for me to ship like missiles to you than it would be a bottle of alcohol, man. Ontario is not okay with any type.
Yeah, no, it's really not.
Like at all.
Got to mule it across the border and then figure it out from there.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have to organize a grand gathering.
I'm hoping to make a way up to Toronto at some point.
I mean, it's better up here. If we're gonna meet somewhere and travel, you guys better, it's better
Sure.
you guys come up here. I'm just throwing it out there.
Sure, yeah. No, I thought we were going to start organizing Rotgut Con.
Oh yeah, Rotgut Con is happening. That's the after party of Distill America.
Oh,
all right.
That's very nice.
It's happening. It's not going to be particularly well organized, but I've already got a plan. Like part of it is going to be, and I don't remember if it was Erica or I who came up with this, but the idea was everyone has to come up with the least appetizing cocktail they can, and me and the old man have to drink them.
Oh man, you know what, Brad? We should Pina Collard bag.
Okay, no, we can do worse than that. That was pretty rough, but we could do worse.
We had that. No, it was Pina Lafroig. That's what we had.
Yeah, it was same idea from our big day. They did the same kind of thing.
It was not spectacular.
No, it was not.
It tastes like smoky banana yogurt, like Yoplait.
You know what? If that sounds pretty good actually. The one that I had tasted like watery coconut, watered down Scotch sadness. Tastes like sadness. and it wasn't great. I really was not super impressed. And had I not had a multitude of people around me that were more than willing to smash down what I didn't finish, I would have been carrying that thing around for a while.
I'm not good with coconuts, so that would already jump to the top of my list right off the bat.
Yeah.
And if Erica was judging, I would have pickle juice in it.
Erica refuses to. She will be at Distill America this year. She will be at Distill America, but she refuses to take part in any ridiculous Rotgut shenanigans.
That's fair.
So.
She'll be the one who's interviewing people like really well.
She's gonna be the one doing a good job while I just flop around in the background.
Sure. Jeremy says in the chat, wait, with a musk stick as a garnish? No, that's bad. Well, I mean, for the sake of it being horrible, that would probably be a good idea. But yeah, crazy Australian nonsense.
Yeah, but that is a good ploy, though. Everybody bring your horrible whiskey you don't like to Rotgut Con.
Yeah.
It's well worth the drive. I'm going to have to see if I can organize something to get down.
It's a great way to get rid of your unwanted drams.
Yeah, I would absolutely encourage anyone. Well, anyone who actually is going to make it to Distill America this year, which you totally should, if you can get up to Madison, Wisconsin. You totally should come to Distill America, and then you get to hang out with us afterward and maybe see us puke, depending on what you give us.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's no way I'll miss Distill America pretty much from now on. For like $80, it's like the greatest 4 hours, and they serve you food and all sorts of other stuff. So
nice.
It puts the stuff in Chicago and other places we were paying like $320 just to get in kind of to shame.
Yeah, it really does.
Crazy.
So,
note to self: Distill America.
February 20th.
Earn enough brownie points to get an escape to Distill.
And maybe someday, once Still in Canada gets stuff moving, maybe we can influence them to be invited.
Oh, good news! Actually, since our last stream, Mark has recently finished the last hurdle. Which was the electrical inspection. So everybody give a congratulations to Mark, because as far as I'm concerned, it's just really fine details before he starts producing some stuff. So
nice. Congratulations, Mark.
Yeah.
Congrats, Mark.
Oh, and the date, you might want to retype that date, Mark. That's confusing.
I'm sorry, I'm busy on December 9th.
December ampersand.
Could have assumed that means December 7th, but
it's a whole month-long event.
Yeah,
that's Canadian, guys. Sorry about that Canadian.
Yeah, the dates are weird up here sometimes. You know, we write it the other way, and it gets confusing.
You'll have me up there.
Yeah, just December 7th.
Day of the week, and
shall we move on to number 2? Are you guys ready?
We can
for
move
that?
on to number 2.
Yeah.
That's awesome. December 7th, the day right after my birthday. So,
Shit!
We might, if he's got some time, maybe we'll pull him on earlier, do an interview or something if he's got time, or you guys can. I mean, I don't want to steal him from you.
No. I'm sure if he's got the time, I know Mark would be more than happy to jump on with anybody for sure. I'll speak.
I imagine we could pull him on right now. I think they're at the distillery.
Yeah, I can speak on his behalf right there and tell you that if he has the time, he'd be more than happy. Speaking for you, Mark. Hope you don't mind there, buddy.
That's fair.
buddy guy.
Do you guys ever smell the coin? Do you guys ever actually use a lid on your Glencairn at any occasions?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not usually at home, but every now and then.
I only do it when I've got stuff to set up like this that I know could be 25 minutes or more, half an hour before I get to it. But I've been pulling the lids off and smelling the fucking thing like it's a cork, and it's not. the non-porous metal is not holding a scent.
That kind of makes sense.
Yes.
Smell like dirty nickels.
Start getting a really funky smell off you. Like, this is very metallic. I don't know if I want this one.
We do use those. Like, we'll put one on because we usually shoot videos, like 4 at a time. So we'll set aside whatever we did first, and we'll throw a cap on it, and then I'll drink it later. So
That's funny. Sipper Social Club is kind of right.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. That's the first dram that I had. So
Sure.
yeah, but I'll give it to you.
when you know you're really drunk is when you nose your water glass.
I have done that.
Yeah.
If it's in a Glencairn, I knows my water. I'll pretty much every time there's water in it.
Or try really hard to pull the cork out of a screw top.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You just keep spinning the screw top. Like, why isn't the screw top opening? Oh, it's a cork.
I find myself nosing like Coke cans on occasion. Like I'll just because I'll start and I bump my nose against the tap.
Trying to get a good whiff of that.
Just something you pick up with everything you're doing now. Whenever you're drinking it, you kind of.
Well, like I said, if it's in a Glencairn, and when we have our meetups, we just have a big jug of water in the middle, right? And we fill up our Glencairn, swish it around, get it down. I knows it almost every time, drunk or not.
Yeah,
True.
that is fair.
All right, I'm on number 2. I don't know where everyone else is.
I'm also on number 2 here. It smells wonderful. A definite hardcore American.
Like a American, or how is the?
It's American.
It's American.
It's been
Hardcore.
such a long time since bourbon and rye was my mainstay that like I've been just into Scotch for quite a while now, and I used to be able to smell a rye from across the room, but now the whole Scotch game has thrown a wrench into the works.
No, I get that. I feel like there was a time where I was drinking so much Scotch, I would come back and anything in a new barrel just smelled like new barrel to me.
Sure.
Yeah. There was a little bit of that. Although I don't know which one this is in particular, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is at least.
The color on it is significantly darker than than number 1.
Yeah, this one's a dark kind of gold.
Yeah, it's really
the
nice.
camera's working right. That's cool. Almost like an ambery kind of color to it. This one I can tell right off the bat has rye in it. Just the smell.
Just straight up rye.
And like a eucalyptus flavor. I already took a sip, so I don't want to jump all over it.
Oh yeah, and hard dill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely harsh on the dill.
See, I get a lot of the black licorice on the finish, but there's that
sure.
peachy stone fruit up front that
Definitely.
I get categorized. So yeah,
Definitely that anise kind of black licorice flavor is in there. Middle towards the end of it for sure.
and the white pepper. That's another thing that I always look for is the white pepper.
Okay, I can see that.
Kind of burning down the sides a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's deep in thought.
this is delicious.
This is one of the ones where I got them backwards when I actually wrote the notes. So
Okay,
But,
I'd be honestly shocked if this isn't hard rye, maybe even a straight rye.
Yes, Mark. Yes, we do.
yeah, I'm not sure who
Close
did
enough.
That. Yes.
A good whiskey always has a little bit of anus in it. And
And you can taste it.
A good whiskey in your anus.
It works for fancy coffee beans. Why not whiskey?
Oh, Graham Young is enjoying a Weiser's 35 and a Weiser's dissertation, prepping for a Canadian whiskey class tomorrow.
Nice.
Damn.
Two of my favorite drams from Weiser's.
They're very nice.
I know
Yeah.
the dissertation has got a lot of love, so
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is really good stuff.
And that 35-year, this is my last. I have until July until I turn 36, so I'm going to keep drinking that whiskey that's my age while I can.
take advantage because after you break 35, it gets all kind of scary price wise.
Oh, believe
Yes,
me,
it
even
does.
this, the lucked out. Like if it's a Canadian, it's like still by Canadian standards a very expensive bottle, but for the rest of the world, for a 35 year, it's laughably cheap. It's very reasonable for a 35-year-old whiskey. It's the second, I mean, technically third oldest whiskey our country has ever produced. And the reason why it's not second is because Canadian Club has like a 40, a 41, and a 42 year. But
came out with the 42. I saw that.
I'm not a fan of Canadian Club.
Or something, 350.
And the thing there, yeah, it's super expensive and like the most expensive Canadian you can buy. And the thing is, I can't help. It's the same percentage every year from what I understand. I could be wrong. And no matter what, whether it tastes good or bad, they're going to release one every year. And it's the same stash of whiskey. It's not like they're unique casks and they're this and that's there. It's all the same stuff and they're just pumping it out. And it seems very, it's very Canadian.
Graham Young also had the 19 seasoned oak. And the CC41 Canadian Club.
So the seasoned oak.
That's a good night.
Seasoned oak is my favorite. I like it more than the 35 year, more than the dissertation. It's my favorite Weiser's release.
What is Dram studying to become a Canadian sommelier? What the hell is that?
Secret Canadian. Undercover Canadian.
But I'm gonna let Ed take a guess at this, but I am getting the white pepper, and it's a little aggressive, but I like aggressive, so
yeah, no, it is. See, here's the thing. I was thinking about this one because I don't remember what it was from my actual tasting, but it's I know it's got to be Midwest, so like I'm trying to think who makes one like this. It's not. Well, it's obvious. I don't think it's Driftless. At least it's not their single barrel, because I don't think it's strong enough. But I was wondering if it was Cody Road, maybe.
No, this one is our Ed and I both like this in particular one. It's Driftless Glen's Young Rye Cask Strength.
Is it?
Yeah.
Man, damn! Right. It is the Driftless Glen. Oh man, I second guessed myself.
It's 61.3% alcohol. It's nice. only aged 14 months. That's like they're usually 14, 16 months on the young rye, which I was always like, holy shit, you did this in like under 2 years. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'll take it. Wow.
And it's 75% rye and then a mix of corn and malted barley.
Yeah, I've got these over here right now just because they're so good.
This is, I love that really dilly, minty, eucalyptus, licorice type that some ryes have a lot of and others not so much. But it's one of my favorite notes in rye. I've said it before. I'll say it a lot. And it was, how old was this? You said 2 years?
No, 14 months.
Holy and the color on it.
Yeah.
But it goes to show what cask strength can do, what releasing something that really just comes from the barrel unwatered is a testament.
And I bottled down mine, so I gotta say goodbye to it. And I will probably never see it again because they don't make it anymore.
Yeah, no, I picked up on it. I went down to Chicago to get the last bottles that Benny had.
There might be some like 3 or 4 at a festival up here. My friend told me, I'm like, well, I'll be stopping there on Friday just to find out. Yeah. But they have a couple other releases. I think like their new one is like 51% rye because it's 51 is the name of it. I haven't had that in a while, so I don't want to compare. But I know that I think I was happier with this one. Not to be mean to the 51, but just the punch and the flavors were like so much bolder in this.
Very bold. It's very, very punchy. I like it a lot.
See, but for me, the thing that always trips me up is that the Driftless Glen Young Rye doesn't have the alcohol burn you would expect from a 14-month-year-old cast strength rye.
Exactly. I want to peg this for 61%.
No,
You know?
No, not at all.
Maybe, but like, yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. There's no heat on it. Like there's spice heat. There's not alcohol heat.
Yeah.
This actually shares a lot of notes with a fantastic rye we have up here that is a 12-year-old cask strength. So that speaks volumes.
And
where are these guys from again? Where was this barrel?
Driftless Glen, Wisconsin. They're in like right by Baraboo, Wisconsin. Kind of is the best way to put it. Southwest, a little bit northwest of Madison. There's a wonderful spot. There's a park called the state park, like Devil's Lake, and I'm like, I want to go camping there because Driftless Glen is like 10-15 minutes north. J. Henry and Sons is like 20 minutes a different way, and there's someone else another direction, and I'm like, I can handle this vacation.
Yeah.
I can go see all these guys.
Me and the old man used to go camping there all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, that is delicious. And I'm really, Brad, I don't know, if that's you typing on the cask strength handle, Brad, but
That's me.
Dram Young says that the new Alberta Premium cask strength is the new Lot 40, and coming from somebody like Graham, who does appear to have good taste in whiskey, that is really good news.
I like he appears to.
You guys has to go question Davin de Kergamue. Like, I don't know why you have to question him. Like, you have to like police interrogate him, or do you mean in discussion? Because I'm pretty sure he will.
Got him locked downstairs, chained to a chair, and he's just getting ready.
Thanks.
Question. I'm reading Ghost Plane, the story of the CIA torture program right now, so that may have influenced that previous comment I made.
Yikes. Oh yeah, Graham says that he thinks Alberta Premium is the stunner compared to the new Lot 40, which is crazy to me, but that's interesting.
And
now I need to find some Alberta Premium cask strength. Apparently.
I know that they have some on one of those that place you were speaking about earlier.
Oh, that place.
I'm introducing them in my master class I'm helping host tomorrow, and Dr. Livermore later. That is awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The only other thing about Driftless Glen is they won Wisconsin's Distiller of the Year this year. So they are starting to, and there's a lot of their stuff popping up around the country as like single cask picks. Hell, Mike sent me two I never had because he got them in Kansas City, and there's other ones like in Atlanta and other places. So they're getting a lot of unique, I don't want to say unique love, but they're kind of making their move at the right time.
Yeah,
sweet.
Sorry. Ooh, that is way different. Sorry, I jumped to 3 because I already drank the hell out of 2, and I'm out
That's a
of
good idea.
Yeah,
I'm going to join you.
I already made the jump too. I'm wondering if this is the one I think it is, because actually I don't. The problem is I can compare it to 4, because then I think I'll know which one this is.
Ooh.
I would think so.
Ooh, I like her.
I know it. I know which one this is.
This is the one I thought in the end would stand out, but not like the punchy. I don't know. I'm going to shut up. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut up and let other people talk for a minute.
Yeah. Don't let them know anything, because it's going to be fun to see what they think.
This one is considerably more subtle on the nose.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like,
not getting a whole lot of it.
I'm getting a tiny bit of like butter and vanilla and subtle.
Mm-hmm. And a very light oak on the nose. But I mean, like you said, on all of them, it's all like very light. And
I'm just going to have a quick water.
Good idea.
It's definitely got like a buttery, oily feel to it. It's nice.
I get a lot of that brown sugar note I like.
Sure.
Brown sugar and nuts, like candied nuts.
Yeah, super sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use the word smooth often, but it's hard not to use it right now. And it is very buttery. Like, I know the more times I say butter, it makes me want to say Irish, but it has not. It's reminiscent of Irish. I don't think that it is, but at all. But it's just very, very sweet and delicate.
There are aspects that are a little Irish. Like there are aspects that remind me a little bit of single pot still.
Yeah, I was gonna say that buttered. I don't even give it like a little buttered biscuit, but it's so light with like that little bit of biscuit, and the butter is a little heavier. And there's not much that's heavy in it at all, to be honest. It's
very, very, very
subtle.
Everywhere.
Especially coming off that punchy banger that we just had. Okay, now on the now I'm getting a little more of like a pepper, just a tiny bit. But again,
I'm leaning towards that white pepper that Ed was talking about, but like faint. Oh, hey James, nice to see you sneak in there.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
this is just delicate, nice, wonderful little treat.
This one, it's from Wisconsin, and on the bottle, they have a picture of a badger, but he's wearing like a suit jacket and a monocle. So like every time I'm drinking it, I feel like I'm so fucking underdressed.
Yeah, instead of a classy badger.
I know. I'm like, this dude's like, look. I'm like, I just feel like he's classed up. Like I feel like I should be in like a parlor drinking with him. But I need my own suit jacket. Like I'm the guy that went to the fancy restaurant and had to borrow a jacket from the restaurant to get in.
Tell me this is called the Dignified Badger.
It's not, but that would be an awesome name for it. I can talk. I've talked to the basically the owner of the distillery now because he took over from the guy before, and the head distiller. If he doesn't use that for this one, I think he might use that with something else. That's a really good name.
If they do like a cask strength version of this or something, they should call it like something like that, like the Refined Badger or something.
Yeah, I'll talk to Waters about that because that's a good name. And like you said, I'll say this: it's only at 40%. That's why it is pretty smooth. So I was gonna say if it was cask strength, there could be a decent, a couple more flavors coming out. I usually only get maybe like 3 or 4, but they're usually very well rounded together and kind
super
of
well rounded. It is a very, very well rounded. It's got, and now that I'm having a little more, it's just got the tiniest little bit of spice on the finish, which again is kind of black peppery, but it's so sweet and smooth and delicate. And like I said, the first thing that just came into mind is that it is very Irish-esque.
Is Brad gonna give it a okay or?
I like this one better than the last one, to be honest. But I'm not into like pickly, rye. So
I'm typically not either.
It is tasty.
The last one kind of got me with that one. I'm gonna finish this, but I'm gonna rattle off some stuff. This one is from Yahara Bay, which is right inside Madison. It's from Fitchburg, just basically a suburb. It is a 4-grain recipe, but on what's in it. And it's only 2 years in a southern white oak barrel. So it's not really aged too long. When I tasted this, this is what I would, if I was like giving a class and I had this would be like my introduction whiskey to people who haven't had whiskey. Kind of like a Basil Hayden, where I think it's very friendly and approachable, and it's not horribly high ABV. and it doesn't like, and there's not too much flavor complexity, where it kind of drives your mind wild. But it's something you can drink, and it disappears on the back of your palate like that. So you can keep putting some in and tasting it. So that's what I kind of thought was like. It's a very nice introductory whiskey. I don't mean that as like a slander to it, but I was gonna say it's really nice and approachable. It's an easily everyday drinker if you had it there. Like, oh, no big deal. Quick.
Especially
Absolutely.
coming off that rye, like it just makes it so much more sweeter and nice. Yeah, very friendly.
Yeah, big time. And I would agree with you wholeheartedly on all of those statements, because most stuff at 40 isn't super tasty and kind of has more of an alcohol taste to it than a lot of other stuff that has a bit more love into it. But I'm not a 40% guy. Brad will tell you that. But this is actually really quite tasty. This definitely falls into my exception of 40%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't have many either, but like I said, Basil Hayden, when I first had it, I was like, I can give this to a lot of people, and I hit this. I'm like, yeah, I don't see anyone complaining when they have
Dwyer,
this.
will you try this?
You're
Dwyer,
gonna
will you try this? You don't have to come on camera.
Come on, we want to come on camera.
Are you? I'm talking to nobody. The coffee machine's just on doing its thing.
All right then.
And the coffee machine sounds like a couple of Wisconsin hicks. So
It's a Keurig though, so someone had to turn it on.
So she'll be back, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
she'll be back.
She's somewhere. This place ain't that big. Yeah, this is really nice little treat. Big theme. I see a theme happening here in these whiskeys.
And these are the guys that I tried that single malt IPA from them a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
And when I was down at the distillery, they're like, "Do you want a taste of this?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna promise I like it." I'm like, I hate IPAs in general as far as beers go. And I had it, I was like, not bad. You know, like I thought like I was gonna be geared up for like me to be cringeworthy and being like, Ed, just guess what I found, you know? But it was much more tolerable, and it wasn't as heavy hopsy as I thought it was gonna be. Like, and they when they get that one, they were distilling it twice themselves after they got the beer from the brewery that made it, and I think that kind of helped pull a little bit of that out. But I was surprised by it, and they're doing a bunch of smaller kind of things where they're like, I got that in a 375. They're doing I could be wrong, but I think it was a vanilla stout that was going to be coming out soon, and I was like, I'm intrigued, because I like that beer far more than I like an IPA any day of the week. And I was like, at least I'm going to lean out the flavors. And they do a lot of contract distilling for people in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and a couple other people. So, and a lot of the people they contract for, like Crooked Waters and DeMello's and a couple other people, I like their stuff. So I'm like, you're doing a good job kind of across the board on what they're making, even if they're not the ones selling it.
Right.
Is Yahara the one that did the contracting for that French oak aged vodka? Is that Yahara?
I do not know, but I don't know off the top of my head, but I would lean towards yes. Because
you tried that, Ed?
I haven't, but I really want to have it on one of the Wednesday episodes. Maybe that'll be next week's Wednesday episode. Yeah, because I'm really curious about what that's going to be.
I don't think I've ever tried an aged vodka.
That's the thing. Like you would think, because it is grain, but it's been distilled to like 95%. So you would think you would get nothing but barrel influence, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're gonna find out.
Yeah, that's I think I'll wait for you to try that, and then
You could be the guinea pig.
Give it a go.
Wisconsin.
Oh, sorry.
giving some shout outs to Wisconsin, both for its handsome men and its wonderful whiskey.
Nice. I'm intrigued by Patrick Cohn. He was saying that there's an Arizona distillery that's got a citrus IPA, and it's only aged 2 months in the cask, and it tastes a lot like gin. I could see that.
Yeah, with all the citrus influence. Yeah.
See, it also depends, like, what IPA are you using? Because there's a difference. The big thing right now is those hazy IPAs that are it's all citrus flavor. It's all like drinking grapefruit, right? That's a far cry from like the really bitter stuff that they made a lot of, well, they still make a lot of it too. But like that's why I like the Jameson IPA, because that one was very like citrusy, very grapefruity, rather than just being bitter or hoppy.
I'm intrigued by that one, Mr. Cole.
I'm enjoying it very much.
You already moved on to 4?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, you're vetoing me here.
Yeah. It's just running the gambit fast. I won't stop.
Vito's already 2 bottles ahead at any tasting than the rest of us.
Sounds about right. Which is weird because he's so wee. Like, where does he put it? How does he stay conscious? I don't know how it works. It's weird.
Okay, number 4.
This is tasty.
Ooh, also nice deep color in there.
Yep.
There we go.
I think I know what this one is too, if I remember correctly.
I would guess you're probably right on this one. You can tell on the nose usually.
Yeah.
My camera's shit.
It's all right. Mine did work the other day when I did it. It was just blurry as hell, and I was like, well, that turned out like shit. Believe me when I say it's golden.
Sure.
But this one's a little bit darker, almost more of like a brown. It's almost more of a brown color to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing them isn't as fun as guessing with the taste and flavors.
No, blind is amazing. It's one of my favorite. If the opportunity presents itself, I will always try stuff blind if I can. Because it's 2 levels. The one is the level of trying to guess something and looking really stupid or looking really good. And the second level is just you get a true, untainted view of if you like this or not. And nothing else really matters. There's no names to throw it off or ages or anything like that. And you got a true opinion of if you enjoy it or not. And not that knowing a name of something is going to affect that, but sometimes it does. If you're to put a Bruichladdich in front of me, of which I've never had any bad stuff, I'm going to be automatically expecting to enjoy it and might not give it a fair shake.
True.
Yeah, James of the chat is asking if there's D&D tonight, and unfortunately we did have to postpone that. So
Yeah.
no D&D tonight. So I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be doing. If we'll stay here longer or go over to my whiskey
here
den.
as a precursor to the D&D.
Probably just.
We can't make
It,
it tonight.
James just wants to hear about how I keep getting kicked down the stairs.
and the whole mushroom incident.
Yes.
That was actually pretty inspired. I really enjoyed that.
It was a fun time.
Yeah. I love Jeremy burned half the stash.
What could you do?
Hey, Brad and I were both half dead when he did it, so it was kind of really just up to him to do whatever he wanted.
Yep.
And there was no way I thought Brad was going to get stabbed and died on the first try when he had an AC of 21. So I just... That was me
What
playing
happens
the
when you
odds
kick
forward.
your only healer down the stairs? What can you do? It's fine. It's all fine.
What you do?
Had you been kicked properly, you would have been a weapon. This way, I just threw you at someone's feet, and they're like, "Oh, watch this."
It's true.
But no, Sims got called in by the government to do his job, so we're not going to argue.
Yeah, weird priorities, huh? Like,
Yeah. Making money and stuff. No, you come play D&D online.
Yeah, you'd think he could do it from his station.
Yeah, right. Actually, I am a little disappointed because Well, I was trying to come up with something we could do, just the three of us, and I honestly did not have enough time. But
Wow.
I do have, once we do, hopefully next week we can pick it up again, because I do have a great story that I want to tell.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it's worth the wait when that happens. Because like I was saying, if it's meant for 3 people, Brad and I are probably gonna die. If it's just the 2 of us.
Probably.
Like Sims comes back and he's got 2 new characters with him.
Yeah, right.
Who the fuck are you guys?
Wouldn't be the first time a first level group just gets wiped out. What
Yeah.
happens?
TPK.
Is everybody on number 4?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
I rolled over that too.
brown sugar is the note of the dram.
Brown sugar for days.
Like hard brown sugar. I've been waiting to say brown sugar for the past 3 minutes.
It's almost molasses cookie-esque.
Yeah.
That's where I was gonna go. I'm like, it's right at the edge of molasses.
Yeah.
And
it's
I
like-
love
right.
when notes come through on the tongue that are so prevalent on the nose. I love it when it comes through on the tongue.
Mm. Yeah, it is strong with that one. And I do get like a titch of sherry in it. Like
Oh,
hidden in
yeah.
the background.
Yeah.
Of what it's doing. And like the second half, I can feel that like kind of creep up in it.
See,
Yeah, like a
very dry sherry. And I don't remember what kind of sherry they finished this in, but it reminds me of that very dry, nutty kind of sherry, almost that yeast and fruit kind of thing.
The nutty part too. When you're meant that comes through, there's a nuttiness in there as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of these guys. Oh, not saying who it is. Dave Pickerel helped start this place.
oh wow.
Ah,
Come up with this blend.
nice.
Rest
So
of
it looks like we might have a special guest if we want to pull them in for the last dram here. Let's see.
Who could it be? Oh, hey,
Mark Townsend,
Hello.
hanging out at the distillery.
hey
Mark.
guys.
Now, we don't have the special treats you folks have, but we do have an Art Big rum here we're enjoying.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, it's hard to argue anything from our
Yeah, as
side.
long as
So.
we can keep it out of the pina colada, we're good.
Jeez. Those are rough. Yeah.
That was a choice they made. They did make those.
Yes.
So-
those peat coladas.
While
Right.
everybody has a glass, Lisa, do you have a glass there in your hand? While we're virtually here together, I'd like to just again give you a toast and a congratulations on that last hurdle, and look forward to the opening. Congratulations!
Yeah.
That was a big one.
Cheers.
Thank you, folks.
I knew it was a hard one to pass, so I'm glad you guys got over it. So
So, Daniel and Brad, you've been here. Well, you haven't been here yet, but you've seen enough of the pictures. Did you want me to just spin around a bit?
Oh yeah,
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
So, you can just keep going. Have you finished all your drams?
We got one left after this. I think.
mhm.
oh nice. Okay, so things are switched
Very
up
nice.
there. The desk and bar have been moved.
Oh, wow. It's been a while since you've been here then.
It has been a while. Oh nice.
Very nice.
Oh, I dig the logo.
Just hold on a second. As soon as I'm done spinning, we'll let them see at the door.
Oh, I love the telephone booth.
So that's where the bar has been moved to.
Oh,
nice.
awesome. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you know what? I don't think that's what you're here to see. I think what you're here to see is what's behind me.
Yeah.
All right, dear. Ta-da!
You don't have to be on camera.
She came back for her coffee. Oh, very nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh. That's
Are we
just.
allowed to say boner on YouTube?
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
we've
you
said
can.
far worse
Pretty
already.
sure it's fine.
Pretty sure the wife's seen enough.
Oh, there they are. Look at those beauties.
Very
Mark.
nice.
Awesome.
Days of shiny prettiness.
Now, unfortunately for the Americans, they probably won't get this, but we have named everything.
Okay.
And those two little beauties behind me are called Bob and Doug.
Woo!
They're called-
Nice.
Very nice.
The McKenzie brothers.
Awesome.
That is sharp.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Nice.
Yep, so bit by bit.
Beautiful.
Very cool.
Right now, we're working on a new water system to fill up the mash tun digitally, so we don't have to stand there and count it.
Graham's asking where this is, and Graham, this is over here in Arthur, Ontario. Wonderful little farming town that is, I guess you could say it's an hour northwest depending on if you're following actual directions or the way the roads run of Toronto. And it's a awesome spot there, and I haven't seen anything all set up there, but when I was there I still got a kind of a feel on what was going on, but now it's really all tied together and it looks awesome, Mark.
It does.
Yeah, it's come together really nicely. Although, yeah, you haven't. Let's go here. Sorry, I'm actually using a freaking selfie stick of all the bloody.
Hey, it's working.
So there's our washroom sign. That was the first thing I did on the laser.
Cute.
Love it.
Very nice.
Yeah, and if you haven't quite figured out yet, yes, we're geeks.
You don't say.
Yeah. This is, although it says, the back cave, it's actually Lisa's little hole.
Awesome.
This is the laboratory.
It's an R&D section in there.
Nice.
So it's got its own 100-liter still, and the glass still, and a few other things, and some of the stuff's not quite set up yet, but
Very cool.
Amazing. It reminds me of Deb's little workstation by the still there.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, very nice.
let's see if we can run you into this room. Sorry for the noise with the door.
It's all good.
This is where the car was.
So, for those who don't know me, the TARDIS, the Daleks, we even have one hanging on the ceiling. I've made all that.
Oh.
And we used to go to Comic Cons and raise money for Sick Kids Hospital. So in the last 7 years, we did just over 200,000 for Sick Kids.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
that
amazing.
was a lot of what we did. But we also built this from scratch.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Oh,
So
Nice.
anyone who's watched Doctor Who, that's Bessie from Doctor Who.
wow. From the ground up, that's impressive.
And we
Very
actually
nice.
we built the frame. We used the engine and the driveline from a '65 Tram Spitfire. And as you can see, there's a picture. Yeah, we're geeks. Yeah, we just don't, I guess. So this room here is going to be our barreling room, but at the moment I'm using it quite a bit for the storage of some extra stuff, as well as our laser.
Woo!
Wow.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's not tiny.
In this
So
room,
that
you're
way-
keeping the laser.
That laser, yeah, we
Right.
get X bottles and a whole bunch of swag and everything else.
Nice.
Awesome.
Now,
Very cool.
just because the stills aren't enough to give Daniel a boner, I'm at a 1952 MGTD.
Yes.
Cool.
Beauty. Awesome. And where's the bee?
The B is in the trailer. It'll be out next summer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a new
Awesome.
carburetor going on it, so there's a few things I had to get done.
You have remarkable taste in British automobiles.
So let us not stop you from having that last Dram.
Yeah, so I need to find out what
Give
this
me 1 second. I
brown sugar-
forgot to kill
brown-
my live stream, so give me a second.
Okay.
Is that still going?
Yeah, it just kind of popped on. So we're gonna.
My whiskey dead is going. Wait a second.
Wait a second.
We'll call that completed. Okay, we
I
should
mean,
be
we
fine
could
then.
we could migrate too. If you,
Now I killed it. I don't know how to bring it back. So
All right.
My wife's done the airbag. I gotta get into mine.
Yeah, get her down.
yeah.
Not to steal your thunder,
Yeah,
but Rieger.
What is the brown sugar bomb that we just had?
give me 1 second. I want to make sure I was right. Yeah, I think I killed that. It's J. Rieger is what it is. It's from Kansas City. It is 46% alcohol by volume. It's a blend of straight bourbon whiskey, light corn whiskey, and straight rye, all aged for at least 4 years, and a small amount of 15-year-old Oloroso sherry. This is kind of mixed in there.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
Okay, it's Oloroso. That does make
That was
sense.
Yeah,
that was damn
yeah.
tasty.
Yeah,
And they were.
This is a really good Christmas after Christmas dinner drink.
It's hard to see, but the bottle I got is the holiday version. Now, it's the same stuff that's in their normal bottle. It just looks a lot cooler with the little leaves on it.
It is a very Christmassy drink.
Mm-hmm. And this one is where when they started to open their own distillery this year, they had a bunch of job openings, and I was like, oh, well, that's, I typed on like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, because I already talked to them about stuff about the review, and they're like, hey, just, put in an application, and, pretty much in, and it was like, I came home and I had to have discussion with the wife. I was like, I can be a tour guide and something else there, and do we want to move to Kansas City? and she's there, and if it hadn't been for like the support group, because my son's about 2.5 that we have here, it would have been very questionable. I was like, because it was like, well, compared to the job I have now, I'd be happy going in every day there, and I don't think I'd be upset.
Yeah.
So it was close, but no, here's still 1-0 because there's just too much family and stuff around that makes it a heck of a lot easier. But yeah, I was this close from Kansas City, and my one friend was like all upset about it too. He's like, "You would seriously move?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, to give history lessons in about a distillery and give people tastings. If that's my job, yeah, I can do that every day. There's not going to be a problem.
You can still hear us, but we can't hear anyone else. So we're gonna say toodles.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry about that.
We
It was good
can
seeing
hear
you.
you, but bye.
Hear you, buddy.
See, folks.
Yeah.
See you, Mark. Bye,
See you
Lisa.
later.
Hi, Mark. So I don't know what happened. So sorry about that.
They were on a phone, so probably just the sound cut.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe it was my stream kicking them over. Yeah, I did everything except forget to cancel that, and it like came in and was like, "Oh, you're going live." I'm like, "Oh, am I now?"
Double live.
Yeah.
Okay, so this so far is the highlight of the night because I'm in that whole Christmas vibe. But that brown
sugar was
really
just yes. I like
and then
Mhm.
with that
Like it a lot.
sherry underneath in there, just like a floral, like Ed said, dry sherry is really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta steal a little bit of this from a sample. So and number 7.
I moved on to 5. I've been on 5.
That's fair.
I've got 5 here. I haven't tasted it yet, but
I like it.
Mhm. Excuse me. Sorry about that. 5. I'm a fan of. So
Dwyer, can you pass me a water, please?
And does she want some of number 3?
Floor.
I think he might have already passed it while Still and Canada was on. So
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. I don't have enough in here, but I don't want to quite steal it. I forgot about this the other day and finished. I had I had like 2 or 3 samples left, and I killed the rest of the bottle on accident. I was like, "Oh, there's a little bit left. I'm gonna drink this," and I was like, after I drank it when I was cooking, I'm like, shit, I needed that.
Oh well.
This one gets a little bit less.
Graham Young is wondering what the ultimate Christmas dram is for us. His is Glengoyne 25.
Hmm.
I mean, that's hard to fight.
Actually, I might have a new one because actually our Friday video on the Rotgut channel is going to be Midwinter's Dram, Act 7, Scene 2, and that might be my new Christmas whiskey.
Okay.
Because that one's pretty damn good.
For me, you know what it is? It's Little Book Chapter 2.
That's a tasty one.
Yeah, it's just super. It is the epitome of high proof that doesn't taste high proof that I've ever had. I think it's sitting upwards of 60, and it tastes like 40, if that. Super smooth, and there's a little bit of that brown sugar in there that kind of, has the actual taste of Christmas, if you will. But I always drink it around Christmas. It's one bottle that I always bring over to friends or family and share a dram of. So I just associate it with Christmas a lot. It's not so much because of the profile of it, but that seems to be one that gets drunk a lot around Christmas over here.
That's fair.
Drank.
Drunken.
That's when you get a couple drinks in.
Oh, Graham Young has the Little Book Chapter 3. I haven't had a chance to have that one.
Oh, Dan's like, I'm pouring myself one of those right now.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm at least gonna. I wanted to check. I completely forgot. It's 59.4, so not quite 60.
Oh, sheesh.
The cool thing, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Little Book Chapter 2, is that it's the oldest Canadian whiskey ever produced at the point, blended with some Kentucky rye and, oh God, I believe a Kentucky bourbon. Oh, this is bad. I've learned so much, I've forgot even more. Yeah, bear with me because I've got the neck hanger. 8-year Kentucky straight rye, 13-year Canadian rye, and 40-year Canadian whiskey, which is predominantly corn, that 40-year. But it's super tasty. One of the nicer blends I've ever had.
I believe it.
And it's coming out for its Christmas debut.
Very nice.
My wife already wanted to put up. Do you guys have Christmas trees up? Do you guys celebrate Christmas?
Oh my God, Erica is so adamant that we not do anything Christmassy until after Thanksgiving.
We're kind of the same week.
That way,
After fake American Thanksgiving. No, we get it. It's fine.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, but I've been needling her a little bit and just singing Christmas songs every once in a while.
And it's a week
Yeah,
later.
we don't
this
have any
year for
Christmas stuff up
Thanksgiving.
yet, but we do have a little tree that we're going to put up, in a couple weeks or whatever. Once it's December, at least.
Yeah,
We usually do something the week after Thanksgiving is when we'll get our tree or do something like that.
What? I am gonna be honest. You wanted to put the tree up last week. Her mom, my mother-in-law, out in Newfoundland, has had her Christmas tree up since when, Dwyer? Halloween.
The day of
Crazy.
Halloween.
Crazy.
That's insane.
That's just to throw off the trick-or-treaters.
The Christmas creep has been exceptionally dramatic this year, and I don't know why this year has been so ridiculous.
Should really just do a Christmas tree, but with Halloween decorations on it, so you can just leave it.
Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, also, my ma just gave us a couple of ornaments, one of whom is Stripper Santa. She wanted to get rid of him, but I insisted we keep him.
Sure.
It is. Okay, on number 5, I definitely get more oak barrel compared to all the rest of them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Big time.
Sure, yeah.
This one's punchy. And I get a little tiny whiff of dill, and it's more standout because it's surrounded by all that oak flavor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it stands out more amongst all the other flavors.
On the nose, I still get like a little bit of sugar, but like more brown sugar than molasses in the last one, but light. And a little touch of citrus.
There is, like a orange peel.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Damn, someone might lose their sample. There'll be another one. There'll be another one coming out here soon.
Oh, Graham with the super chat. Stick for a real tree.
Are you guys real tree people or fake tree people?
We have a tiny little fake tree.
I'm a fake tree person. I appreciate and value the real tree. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is Christmas Vacation, and I don't mean Christmas movies. Like I watch that sucker all year. It's just so I do appreciate it and I do value it, but I just, even though they're planted for the purpose, I have a problem with the amount of trees that get cut down, put up in a living room, and then thrown out in the garbage.
Sure.
But that's another conversation.
No, I get that.
I wouldn't be doing anything except I have a 4-year-old and I can't be that much of a Grinch that I'm denying him a Christmas tree. So we got a little one that he can decorate. And,
we have our fake tree though.
It wouldn't
one
be
of those
here
really expensive ones that does look like super duper real. So there's that, because I hate the like really cheesy fake looking trees. It's hurting.
So you don't like the ones with the spray foam that looks like snow on it?
No. This one's pretty decent, and there will be a time that I will go to cut a tree down with my son. We'll definitely do that, but now he's 5, and that could turn into a severe nightmare.
Sure.
So
we're 50-50. We're kind of. Sorry, I mean to cut you off, Ed. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying you should give the kid a chainsaw. Just get him on that early.
There you go. Just a hatchet, a chainsaw. Don't spoil this kid. Just a hatchet.
Get in there and work for that tree.
A hatchet and a short length of rope. There, go get yourself a Christmas tree.
He's very impressionable, to the point where last year he went around to all of my family who were sitting around. We're having a nice time, having a couple drinks. It's Christmas, and my 4-year-old son is saying, "Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss his ass, Happy Hanukkah." And I'm sitting there going, like, he just told great grandma to kiss his ass, and then told my mom to kiss her ass.
And he did it out of order. Had he said that to 2 other people, you might have been okay with it.
Yeah. It was just so funny, and like, I don't care. It's funny. He saw it from a movie. It's one of my favorite movies. He repeated it, but I was just like, you can't say that to people. And he kept a straight face. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Happy Hanukkah. It was unbelievable.
Amazing.
Gives me hope to look forward to stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff that you don't realize or remember being so bad. Like I'm like, oh, E.T. Let's throw on E.T. It's a great movie to watch, and there's nothing inappropriate there, and it's totally good. Maybe he gets scared a little in a few of the places. When I was a kid, I got scared at a couple scenes in E.T., and then No, the first scene in it, the word penis breath come out, and they're playing D&D, right? That opening scene, they're sitting there playing D&D at the kitchen table. Someone says something in it, and then the word penis breath come right out, and he instantly turns over and he's like, "Shut up, penis breath! Please don't say that at school." Like,
Don't say that during a math test.
yeah. Graham Young owns a Christmas tree farm. He sells 50,000 a year in USA and Mexico.
Wow, nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty awesome. A lot of the Christmas trees that are for sale in our town, not a lot, but a good portion. A few of the lots come from out east, Graham. So I know it's a big thing out there.
It makes sense up where you guys are. I mean, I'm just with that type of tree. I bet you it grows pretty well in that area.
Oh, yeah.
Like it does here. I mean, we're not far off, but I mean, you got a lot more. I don't want to say space, but
Yeah, well, we have a lot
used.
of trees. We have one or two trees up here, and I'm just loving the shitters full. Love it, love it. I did have a Christmas shirt that said "shitters full," and then it got misplaced. / I think someone borrowed it. They intentionally borrowed it for a long time.
Misplaced.
Yeah. But
So
Getting
what is
back to
this
number 5,
this
I'm running
spicy
low.
thing that we're drinking?
I also get a little bit of leather on this one, like just for me. Everything's different, but this one is, and I think of this one as something that when people talk about like Kentucky and Texas, I always think flavor-wise. I don't want to say it's similar profile, but it's vaguely bold like that with that type of oak. But this one is J. Henry and Sons, 7-year cask strength. And there's not many craft distilleries that have a 7-year, and they're actually this December 1st, they're releasing their 10-year-old. I'm vaguely excited for it, but I don't know if I'm going to get my hands on it.
Yeah, it's going on lottery at our store. And actually, they're coming to our store tomorrow to do a tasting, but I have to work, so Erica took my comp ticket. So,
nice.
I can sneak away from the register to go steal some.
So you'll be working, and she's just gonna walk by with a sample.
Yeah.
I'm drinking. How you doing back there?
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing.
So this one is 60% alcohol by volume. Once again, I don't think it punches at 60%. The neat thing about it's 60% heirloom red corn, but the red corn was developed by UW-Madison in 1939, so they had to talk to UW-Madison to get the rights to be able to produce it. 14% rye, 14% wheat, and 12% barley. Everything is grown on their farm except for the barley. And like I said, I think it stands up to other states, kind of a little more potent whiskeys.
Yeah.
But it's to have a 7 and a 10-year-old at a craft distillery is vaguely unheard of. It's pretty hard to get force, so I like this one, but they also are a little higher priced with some of them. I think like the 7-year, like where I was, is close to like $90. But Nancy Fraley's been helping them for a few years with this, and they actually have another one that is the Bellefontaine. It's their 5-year version, but they finish it in cognac barrels. And if you try that next to this one, they're distinctively different. Which I think I'm like, that's awesome that you're like, this is more rich and bold. The other one's like light and springy almost on the first half of it. Just to be able to take the same thing and just finish it in something else and get a completely different flavor, I was like, yay.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's always awesome. This is I love how the two cask strengths of the evening were definitely the punchiest with the most bold flavors and really showcasing that whiskey.
Absolutely.
J. Henry's doing some really great bourbon. I think they're probably the best bourbon in the state. Would you say, Patty?
I would lean that way. I haven't had Driftless Glenn's new bourbon, and people have liked that, but I would lean that way just off my statement. Like, as far as bourbon, they're doing the best in the state, and part of that might just be because also they have some stuff that's older.
Right.
I was gonna say, and like I think we were talking about this one time, Ed, where rye matures a heck of a lot quicker. And to get a decent bourbon in Wisconsin, I'd almost say you got to be at least 4 to 5 years to get past some of that green note and stuff in it, which is why I missed Wollersheim had their. They just did a recent release. It was Wisconsin's first bottled and bond whiskey. It was a 4-year-old, but that thing sold out in like 3 hours. You could get as many bottles as you want. It wasn't like, oh, I'll show up and get one. It was like, people like, I'm gonna get 6, and I'm like. So I was gonna say, and that I heard was actually really good, but once again, that you already hit that 4-year mark.
Right.
So I'm like, I think it's got to be 4 and above to start working the bourbons into something a little bit more tasteful. On some of the other places, it can be a little green.
Yeah, I would say 4 to 5 years is kind of where you actually start to get some proper flavor around here. But with the rye, you can get away with it way earlier.
Yeah.
Sure. And what was the name of that again? Graham is
J. Henry and Sons bourbon whiskey. They're also right kind of down by Devil's Lake, or just left outside of Madison. So I was gonna say there's like 2 or 3 in that area that are like, this is a nice couple, like a day trip to 2 or 3 different distilleries, because they're gonna have really nice stuff. Not to crap on a couple other places, like Milwaukee's got 2 really nice distilleries too, but I was gonna say for bourbon, they're where I would tend to lean right now if I was gonna try to showcase someone.
It's super tasty.
Good.
Whereabouts in the wonderful state are you guys?
I'm in Milwaukee.
And I'm in Green Bay.
Southeast corner.
Oh, you're up in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terribly far to the border.
Come on up.
Cross at Sioux, and then it's only 3 days to get around the hump of Ontario before you bend back around and get to the woods.
At least the weather won't shock you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's September and it's still only 72.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I thought they were a pretty decent selection, and I think I did kind of cheat by putting that third one after Driftless Glenn's like really punchy one. So I was like, the subtle one is really subtle.
Yeah. It's comparatively sweet. Now, your Harvey comes off as super sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, they were all pretty good. Thank you very much.
I can.
It took a while to get them to everyone in Canada, but
that happens.
Thank you very, very much, and thanks to Brad and Vito for getting them to me.
No, Dan, aren't you in Toronto or outside of Toronto?
Vito will tell you I'm in Toronto, but I'm definitely not in Toronto.
He's in Toronto.
I thought you were like outside of Toronto, is what I heard.
Yeah, I'm clearly not in Toronto. Okay.
It's basically in the Toronto suburbs.
That's fair.
Oh, hey, still in Canada says he used to go to Oshkosh every year. I used to live in Oshkosh.
Oh,
I hated it. That place is
10-hour drive. That's totally doable. Easy. Come
It's
on.
not terrible. But no, yeah, we were thinking about going up there this year. And I got sick a couple times, but otherwise, yeah, there's a weekend in September where Toronto has their Oktoberfest and their Just for Laughs comedy festival. So I was like, well, that's like 4 things to do besides going to whiskey and see people and stuff. But I know you guys mentioned there's some like super tasting. I don't remember when that was. If it was by Niagara Falls or something, there was some whiskey event that it was like worth going to. I don't remember. It was a while ago. I was talking to Brad about it. I think Ram too.
Spirit of Toronto.
It could have been, but I don't know if it was
Spirit of
actually
Toronto.
there. But I don't know. It was some big liquor festival, and I was like, well, that's always exciting.
Apparently, there's a giant whiskey festival that they do in Cornwall that's only like 40 minutes from me that I had never heard of, but it's apparently insanely huge.
Yeah, apparently that is a big one. There's a lot of ones like that. One out east of Newfoundland, St. John's had a really crazy one. Saw somebody in the tribe posted it there, and I went and checked that out. Just some of the availability and pricing there would be worth the trip out there. But Spirit of Toronto, I'd say if you're going to take part in a master class, it's definitely worth it. And there is the opportunity to try some great stuff. And people like Jim Murray are there, and that type of stuff if that's your bag. But it was a lot of what you'd expect. It's a lot of core line stuff from a lot of distilleries, and they're there, and you got to wait in line up to go and maybe try something that you could pick up yourself for not a bad price at the store. But there were certainly exceptions. I tried one of my favorite ryes ever there, the Michter's barrel strength straight rye, super delicious, and a few other notables. But it was fun to kind of semi-dress up and go and be with Brad and watch Brad get recognized.
Always weird every time.
Yeah, it's that was fun. Hey, the whiskey demigod, man. Hey, what's up, Brad?
That was pretty weird,
man.
My favorite one where Brad got noticed was when you were on your cruise.
Yes, that was super weird.
Yeah, and didn't you get recognized by another celebrity? Celebrity? You're full on celebrity now. Just
sure. Like a Q list celebrity, sure.
Hey guys, I'm gonna call it a night, okay? But
all right,
bro.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, always a good time, man.
Yeah, good to see you.
See you later, man.
Cheers.
See you next week.
It has been about an hour and a half, so we could.
That's fine. I'm just finishing off J. Riger here.
It's so good.
I went back to that brown sugar bomb because that was just so tasty.
We're all on the same one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and when they did this, and I found out about it, I'm like, yeah, that is. You can. I almost want to say you can tell Dave had a hand in it, just because it was so freaking balanced. It was ridiculous. But yeah, tons of brown sugar in it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. This was a great little sample tasting, and once again, thank you very much, good sir.
Yes, thanks.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
We'll get some interesting Canadian samples out to you at some point. We'll have to work out
I don't want
the
you
logistics of getting someone
like
to carry it across the border and then send it on its way.
That whole top shelf. That whole top shelf is delicious Canadians just waiting to be shared with Americans.
Oh, I have a feeling like it'll be easier if I just go there.
Oh yeah,
anytime. Come on up.
You're always welcome.
But no, I appreciate it because that's the whole point of the channel is finding some stuff from in the Midwest because you don't really hear horribly too much about it, and being they were doing all right stuff. Some things that are worth kind of hunting out and maybe finding every now and then.
Oh, big time!
Sure.
One last thing about the J. Riger one, they have a special release once a year. It's called the Monocle. And they finish it in these huge 150-gallon Sherry Oloroso butts that are over 100 years old.
Ooh, crazy!
I have not, and it's one of those we release it once a year, but I've seen it 2 or 3 times. Or people had it, and it's just nothing but good stuff to say, and I'm like, son of a bitch. But I'm like. I'm like, I have a friend that lives down there that is in the military. I'm like, do you think you could just maybe stop out that one day and kind of elbow some people out just to get this one bottle? Just
right.
like I'm sure it's like that when I was mentioning a Wollersheim, all of a sudden it's like, well, and it's fucking gone, just like that. And you're like, I'm still in line.
Sheesh.
But that one, like the way this was, it sounded like the brown sugar and everything, but the sherry just like actually like punched through on the tail end. So where this one kind of like it subtly rides in, that one was like poof, like up and into it, and I'm like, that sounds exciting. They're just all the special releases sound like you should get a taste of it. But
Sure.
Yeah,
That's the problem with special releases. They sound so interesting. You can never get them.
I think
But-
we're very, very fortunate. Just as a kind of a semi-related side topic, we're very fortunate to be whiskey enthusiasts in this climate, because the boom while it has created a lot of demand and high price on a lot of some stuff, it's caused a ton of new distilleries to open up, and it's caused distilleries that were already running to put a little bit more love into what they're doing. Yeah. So all across the board, it's just I've fully never heard of a single whiskey that I tried before tonight.
That's
Everything
good.
you mentioned, I honestly had never heard of.
I'd heard of the Driftless, but other than that,
and they were all stellar, like really nice. I could drink those anytime. They were all quite nice. There wasn't. I was really expecting one to be like super not good on purpose, but they were all really really tasty. You did a really nice thing there, and you had the opportunity to give us some garbage, and you didn't, and I appreciate that.
I thought about it, but then I was also like, well, if you really are doing 5 whiskeys, and I've done this with a couple other people, if you go, like, we're at an hour and a half, but if you go fast and you're done in an hour, all of a sudden you're like, well, I kind of have to get off the stream. You're like, what do you mean? I'm a little drunk already. Right. And like, yeah, we're just moving real fast, and we had to get done with it. What do you mean? Like, by 4, I was, having full glass, like full pours, and I was like, I am kind of tore up right now. And I don't mind that because that happens, but I was,
that's why I always have one of these. This was full at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah. Oh, the only other thing that I had never heard of that I'm gonna see, I did that live stream with Mike Lissick, and he lives in Kansas City. They have one called Hat Distillery. If I can get a bottle of that, I'll be sending that to other people, because for what that was, holy shit, that was a really impressive one. I think it was only aged for like 2 years if they do it in a 15-gallon barrel, and they just started doing bigger barrels, so it's 4 years in a 53-gallon barrel. But what they got out of it was pretty impressive, and absolutely no green notes, like none whatsoever, because they get their barrels from some guy that lets all the wood age outside in the rain, so all the rain will pull through it for 3 years instead of like 4 months or a year. So you don't, like, you get a little bit of barrel note in it, but it's like total flavor. And I was like, that was the new one for me out of tasting the other ones, that I was like, damn, that's fucking awesome.
Nice.
So if I get my hands on a bottle of that will be going out to a few people again too. So
we have there's a Wiser's release, actually, it was mentioned earlier. It's my favorite Wiser's, called Seasoned Oak.
Mm-hmm.
And what he does is he's left the barrels and the staves outside for, I think, 4 years.
Okay.
So again, the same thing you're mentioning with the rain and the snow, and absolutely totally exposed to the elements. And it's arguably it might be my actual complete favorite Canadian ever.
It was one of the things that, like, if you're starting your own distillery, which we all wish we could do, it'd be one of those things that would be like, it'd be worth it if you could do it cost effectively to get barrels like that. I was gonna say, just because you're like, well, I don't really have to worry about that problem, and you're just gonna get the flavor bump from it and not that green punchy stuff. And if you can cut it down by like, your aging time, even by a year, that's a big deal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
All right. I'm pouring one more, but we can take off here. I don't want to hold you guys. But thanks again for having me on. I appreciate
Hey, thank you.
Anytime.
Anytime you want to send us whiskey, buddy, you can. You're
Sure.
It's just that it has to go through that holding company in New Jersey.
Yeah. Just bring it personally next time, and then we'll have all kinds of choices here.
Cult Holdings Incorporated.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad name for them if they went with that.
I've got a few things waiting for me over at Cult headquarters that I've got to pick up soon.
So,
but yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. This was great.
So I'm gonna jump off too. I gotta run upstairs, do a couple things, and for everyone else, we'll look into that Dungeons and Dram things, get that set up for next week.
Yeah, hopefully we'll
didn't
be able
happen,
to
but
get that going.
I don't want to die on day 2. So I don't want to. Like, I just showed up in the world. I was like, "What happened?" Like, dude, you got stabbed again. You just got healed by a priest, and you walked out of the door and you went into the sewers, and now you need to go make a new character.
Could happen.
Could happen.
Maybe the next character be a little less boot stompy. Who knows?
Hey, maybe I come around. Maybe it's a development of my character.
It's all good.
For those of you that don't even know what D&D is, or play it, or enjoy it, you will find entertainment watching that stream. I assure you. There's just look up a quick definition of what it is, because I'm sure if you don't, you must have some kind of idea by now. And it's entertaining. That's a fun watch.
Well, I do like what we came up with, where if you can drink your good whiskey whenever you want, but if you do like get a really good roll or you do something great, drink the good whiskey or a little bit bigger drink. But if you roll a 1 or do something stupid that's horrible, drink something. You have to drink something awful.
Yeah.
Like, and I know there was it. I think that thing, the roller on it, is ridiculous, because it was like, oh, you either get a 20 or you get a 1 today. So it was like all of a sudden I'd be drinking something like they're watching. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm just like, is that okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay right now.
I'm really thankful that I only had to drink mist like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. But it was just weird. Like, that was like one of the few times where it was like really heavy 20 and really heavy 1. Like the whole night I was like, do you have any other numbers, dice? I'm like, I don't like the automatic roller.
I'm sure Brett will fall down the stairs again. Fall. Get pushed.
I was just going to say that. Oh, he didn't fall. Fall down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Or like tuck and roll because you're getting pushed.
I kicked you. And I mentioned it before I kicked you down the stairs. And I just did such a poor job of it.
It's all fun.
Yeah.
It all worked out.
It did. So thanks for having me on, guys. Cheers. You guys have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too. Thanks again. And for those of you at home, thanks for coming out and hanging out. Had a blast tonight.
Yeah, good times. Do all the YouTube-y things, like subscribe, ding the bell, whatever, all
Please
those.
like and subscribe and ding the bell.
Or if you didn't like it, then like thumbs down, whatever.
Yep, thumbs down.
Jeff, it counts the same. So
comment sarcastically about how unprofessional we are. Like, that's all on brand. It's all good.
Your entrance was very professional tonight.
Right?
Kudos on that.
I spent a good 45 seconds making that gift. Super professional. All right. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.